So welcome back to Eclipse Motorcycles today. Final test ride of the day, and it is this is the Lexmoto Aspire 50cc. This one, lovely looking bike, and looks a hell of a lot better than the Hunter. I do like that nice headlight that they've got on the front, and in white and black it just sets it off. It's just a stunning bike. Nice long exhaust can on this, and we're just going to take this one out for the customer. Now this one's going out to James, and we're going to get some test mileage on this bike. Do love these big tyres on it, but obviously quite thin on these. You've got the 90/90/18 on the rear of this one, and then you've got the 2.75 18s to the front of this one. Very, very easy to just get on these bikes as well. Love these big high mirrors, so really, really good view of the road behind you. Now obviously 30 mile per hour motorcycle, this one. So we're just going to fire this one up, get it out into traffic. As always, 4-speed box on this one. So just like the Hunter, it does take you a while to get up to speed, but this Aspire is a little bit quicker than the Hunter. Gets up to speed a little bit quicker to the 30. So we're just going to show you through the box. So just pulling it away. And obviously you've got to remember this is a 30 mile an hour motorcycle. It's a geared bike, so it does take you a while to work your way through those gears. Get the speed up into 4th gear, as I saw say, get it up to 4th gear and then bung loads and loads of power on. So this is obviously the first bit of mileage we've put on this one, and it does help if you've obviously got the revs up quite a bit to get your speed up on this one. So just going to drop it down a third, get the revs piled up. Now obviously I am a 13 stone rider, and these are only do 30 mile an hour, but it's a nice high position again. Those mirrors are absolutely lovely. Nice view of the road behind me. And it does what it says on the tin on this one. Obviously we're climbing a little bit of a hill. It is getting there. But once again, it is a 30 mile an hour motorcycle. I always say, if you want to get yourself something that's a little bit nippier, get yourself an Echo, or get yourself something like the Cypher, because they get straight up to speed. These Hunters and these Aspires do take a while to get up to speed, especially with the old 4-speed gearbox. Naughty man, he jumped to red light. RLJ, red light jumper. But it ticks over lovely on this one. About 1500 RPM on this one. It is a manual choke again, and once again those controls exactly the same as what they are on the Hunter. And obviously if you're 16, you want to get yourself your first bike, this would be ideal, but just remember a geared bike is not going to get up to speed as quick as an automatic would. You have to work your way through a gearbox, and it is only 50cc. If you want something that's really, really off the mark though, get yourself the Lexmoto Cypher. That thing absolutely flies. I'm blown away with the acceleration on that. So just working my way through the box on this. I always say, pile on the revs, get your speed up. We're there, we're at 30. So it's taken a good 10 seconds to get me up. Obviously running around town, the ideal sort of 30 mile an hour. When you're out on the main roads, can be a little bit daunting, obviously trying to get yourself up to 30 mile an hour on a 60 mile an hour dual carriageway, but doesn't faze me in the slightest. And it's exactly the same as being on a Hunter, but obviously with the aesthetics of a nice looking bike. So currently 1.6 miles in. It's going to take me a while to rack up the mileage on this one at 30 mile an hour. But while we're doing that, I've got a smile on my face. I'm enjoying being poddling along at what I call grandad speed, 30 mile an hour. Now I'm used to being the Walk 1 Plus on my big bikes. And if you missed out on the big video on that CBR 1000 I did, oh god, that was a ride and a half. But this little Aspire, it's still holding 30 mile an hour. We're poddling along, we're doing well. So if you're doing sort of 2 or 3 miles to college and it's all sort of your normal back roads, then 30 mile an hour is going to do the job for you. But obviously you've got to remember it's 50cc, and you ain't going to get any more than 30 mile an hour out of these things. Now there are certain forums, and I'm not going to mention where, but if you use Google There are loads of guys telling you, I can unrestrict an Aspire, I can unrestrict a Hunter. I know you can, but I am not allowed to obviously mention it, as I am a test riding a bike that should be designed to do 30 mile an hour. But if you fancy being a little bit of a, I want to have a go at getting a little bit more speed out of this, then you can. And that would be the ideal thing for you. But that's what it says on the tin, 30 mile an hour motorcycle, and I think these ones go out for a little bit more than the price of the Hunter, and I think these are about £100 more, but does the job. But obviously remember, the bigger the rider, the slower you are going to go on one of these. So I always say, if you want to get yourself up to speed a little bit quicker, get yourself a twist and go. But I'm enjoying being out on this. Definitely not going to be breaking any speed limits on this one. And even on a hill, it's picking up the revs nicely. That's a 50 wood. So what we're going to do, we're going to take it back into town, do a little bit of urban mileage. And obviously once these have loosened up from being sort of run in for the first 186 miles, you might find it improves, but obviously I'm taking it nice and easy. I'm not giving it a full handful of beans straight from the off. Obviously they will only do 30 mile an hour, and I am running it in at its maximum speed. But even around the roundabouts, I'm sitting in 4th gear and just flick this through the roundabouts on those little tyres. And they are super skinny tyres on this one. But at the end of the day, I'm having fun. I was using this for college. Obviously tax on these is really cheap. These things do 100 plus to the gallon on a little 50. You're going to get loads of mileage out of this to the gallon, and low on insurance as well. And if you're happy sitting along at 30 mile an hour, you've got a mile to work, and it's not going to take you long to bang up a mile. So heading into town. Braking on this is lovely and crisp as well. It's got a nice disc brake to the front of this. Does pull up very, very firm and crisp on that. But what I'd always say with something like a gear bike, especially one of these little ones, get through the gearbox as quick as you can, get it in the 4th gear, and then give it what beans it's got. I say it's not going to break any speed limits, this one. Obviously on the flat, wind behind you, and even climbing a hill it's still holding 30, so it does the job. I'll let you make your own decisions of what you think on this one. So obviously we're going to get the comments. Oh God, how long did it take you to get to 30? Yes, it did, but it's a 30 mile an hour motorcycle, you know, guys. If you want something a little bit quicker to get to the 30, get yourself a twist and go. But if it's something you want to learn, obviously first bike, you want to learn gears, and you're going to have to learn gears if you want to step up and keep yourself a motorcycle. This is an ideal sort of starting block, just to get yourself used to being on a bike, having a little bit of fun, learning your gear changes. And the best bit is, even in 4th gear, you can push it through the roundabouts at 30 and it stays planted. I was quite surprised with these little skinny tyres, you know. I expected to get a little bit of switch from the back end, but there's nothing. Tyres grip the road lovely. Obviously this is dry conditions, it's a lovely sunny day. So I would like to see what these little skinnies are like on wet weather. It rev matches down as well. Quite surprised with it. It's little things on little bikes do sort of, I'm like, oh, I've got this, I've got that. Now obviously I tried out a 50 from a rival brand, and that was worse than this. I was like, really? And that one took absolutely ages to get me up to 30. This one's the the Hunter and the Aspire. They're not that bad. But obviously, if you're only used to riding the big bikes and you get on one of these, you're going to be like, come on, come on, come on. But for a 50cc rider, as a first bike, it takes a while to get there, but you have fun getting to 30, I tell you. As I say, you get a chance to enjoy the scenery that you don't do on a big bike. It's like normally on a big bike, you're like, what was that? At least 30 mile an hour. I'm enjoying it. So this is the Lexmoto Aspire. This was going out to James, and he is an older rider. He said, I just want something to potter around on for me, and he's going to love this. You know, obviously he's had bikes before, but he just wanted something just to potter around to the local shops. And with these Aspires, you've got the option, you can got the rack on the back there, you can put a top box on it. You can have a little bit of fun. And I'm halfway through my test mileage, woohoo! So a little bit more to go. Let's do some more back roads. And I'm still at 29 mile an hour. Ooh. As I always say with these, get them up into top gear and just use your top gear and your throttle just to obviously control your speed. Once you get through that box, you're alright. It's just getting it up to 30 that is the you're sort of sitting there, really? Come on, come on. But we do sell a lot of these. And people put up with it because they know it's good on the economy, it's good on the fuel, it's good on the pocket. So no complaints there. Now obviously if you're watching this video and you follow most of my videos, I'm away for a week's holiday next week, so there will be no uploads from RB. I'm going to get all these videos up Saturday night, Sunday morning, because I'm away to the beach. Now obviously it is going to be, hopefully, not the lockdown next week. I'm dreading it's not going to be. So there won't be anything from my channel, but obviously the boys are still selling bikes at Eclipse Motorcycles, so do make sure that you, if you are after a bike, and I've got the Assaults in now, so if you want an Assault, we've got the new colours in, we've got the grey and the red, and I also have the yellow and the blue version in as well. So if you did want one of those Assaults, they are in next week, guys. Get on and pre-order it. I only have 2 in the garage. I've also got Milano in. If you fancy a little bit of a retro scooter, I've got a Milano. Tell them Red Bomb told you so. And as always, you can give them a call, 01908 643 603 for the boys at the garage. That's Eclipse Motorcycles. As usual, all the media on my page, revbomb.co.uk. First page will take you across to Eclipse Motorcycles, links to the Facebook, and of course the link to their website. And if you happen to like my social media, my Instagram, YouTube, Twitter and the Facebook is all on the last page. If you're on the YouTube, give it a like and subscribe, guys. would appreciate a follow from you, see what we do. And if you missed out on the Honda video yesterday, that got sold today. Guys watched the ride video, saw me riding it, was very, very happy with it, and he's decided to take that away today. So the Honda has been sold. I still have a couple of Gixxers, so if you're in the market for a Gixxer, or you fancy something a little bit different, give the guys at Eclipse a call. We've got loads of the big used bikes. We've got a couple of Triumphs in as well, the Daytonas. We've got 675 in, and I've got the big one as well, the 995. And until then, from RB, signing off this Saturday evening, and I'm about half an hour over. We should have finished about half an hour ago, but what the hell, it's overtime, it's fun, it's another bike video for me. Till then, be well guys, have a great weekend. If you're out riding, ride safe, and we hope to catch up with you in about a week's time when we get back out on the bikes. Don't forget, not this Saturday, but the Saturday, I think it's the 28th, is the Milton Keynes bike show. If you are going guys, be safe there as well, keep your masks on, social distance. We will not be attending this year, obviously due to the amount of people that are going to that. We thought it would be better if we left it a while, but obviously you can grab us on the Facebook, the YouTube. I know UncleRed is going to be there, so until next time, be well, ride safe, and from RB, at 30 mile an hour, it's a big weekend goodbye from me.